HIV sucks. It is not something that you want to live with. And anyone that tells you otherwise is lying. It is not easy. It is not taking a pill once a day. There is stigma, there is discrimination. Finding a relationship can be complicated, and there are side effects to medications. We are so grateful that we have medications, but there could be things that you might have to deal with. And it is a lifelong, at this point, treatment. And until there's a cure, which I believe there will be one someday, but until there's a cure, right now the situation is that you will be on treatment for the rest of your life. Is that something you want? I'm a native New Yorker. I was born and bred in Manhattan and raised in Queens. My parents are Cuban. I'm a first-generation American. Grew up in a Latin conservative household, Roman Catholic, very strict upbringing, to say the least. When I was 17, that's when I went to college. I actually went to NYU in Greenwich Village. It was a very interesting time to be that age in New York City. It was 1987. The AIDS crisis was, roaring. It was a scary time. HIV was never too far away from my experience of meeting people and trying to form relationships and trying not to become positive, but obviously I did. The first time I actually encountered someone that was HIV positive was probably freshman year of college. And I remember reacting badly. I was scared, and I didn't know how to react. And it's funny being on the other side and experiencing that from this side now when I disclose. I can understand. I remember how scary that could be to hear that. I was diagnosed HIV positive in 1992. I actually had a negative test in 1991. So I'm pretty sure what happened and where to become HIV positive. I had a boyfriend at the time who, for whatever reason, wasn't able to disclose to me that he was HIV positive. We were unsafe because I had assumed incorrectly that both of us were negative, and that wasn't the case. I found out I was actually HIV positive because I was in the Marine Corps. My commanding officer read from script my diagnosis. It was actually pretty tactful. You'd think that was a cold kind of way to be told, but the military did it okay. They got that one right. I did confront my then ex-boyfriend because by that time we had broken up. And he still couldn't come to terms with disclosing, but he finally did a couple of years later. And unfortunately, he became sick and he passed away in 1994. I certainly understand the fear of disclosing, and so I can forgive him that because I know he loved me and I loved him. I was afraid because if I became positive, that would mean that I'd probably die. Several years ago, I had to actually get on treatment. When I got on treatment, I became undetectable right away, and that's been my situation ever since. So I'm very, very grateful for the treatment that's available, and I'm very blessed that my situation is as good as it is. I hope there's going to be a cure. I believe there's going to be a cure. I've always believed there's going to be a cure for HIV. We don't have it yet, but that doesn't mean we won't. And I am confident that we will have one day. And I know that the work of AMFAR is very much about finding a cure. I mean, I've always believed in a cure, and so has AMFAR.